you may be destroying other people's respect for you. Without even realizing it, it sounds harsh. But that's how life works. A reputation rarely collapses because of one big mistake. It dies slowly through small habits repeated every day. Habits so small that you think they're harmless. And that's exactly what makes them dangerous. Very few people lose respect overnight. They lose it little by little. One broken promise, one moment of gossip, one excuse instead of taking responsibility, then another, and another, until the image people once had of them is gone. At work, you can be smart. You can be hard-working. You can have impressive skills and experience, but if people stop trusting your words, stop wanting to work with you, or feel drained every time they see you, all that talent starts to lose its value. The same is true in life. You can be kind and well-intentioned, but if you constantly project negativity, unreliability, or a lack of maturity, people will quietly pull away. No arguments, no announcements. They simply create distance. The scary part is that most people never notice it happening. They think the problem is their coworkers, their friends, their environment, other people's jealousy. Rarely do they stop and ask, could I be contributing to this myself? This is where Stoicism takes a cold and honest approach. Stoicism doesn't care how you feel about the truth. It cares about what is true. Marcus Aurelius reminded us not to waste time arguing about what a good person should be. Be that person. Don't perform. Don't explain. Don't build your image with words. Build it with actions. Seneca also taught that one of the clearest signs of wisdom is the ability to observe yourself honestly. No excuse, no blame, no hiding behind reasons that justify harmful habits, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. In this video, we'll uncover 3 habits that quietly destroy the respect people have for you. Not major failures, not dramatic mistakes, but 3 small habits that show up every day, repeated so often that they start to feel normal. 3 dull knives that many people use to slowly cut away at their own reputation. The ironic part, they do it and still believe they're innocent. And let me tell you this, if this makes you uncomfortable, good. Because discomfort is often a sign that you've touched a blind spot you need to see. Don't get defensive. Don't rush to disagree. Don't try to prove you're different. Just listen. Because truly strong people are not the ones who are always right. They are the ones brave enough to recognize when they're wrong and fix it before it's too late. And the first habit is probably the most common one of all. Habit has shown gossiping and talking behind people's backs. The first habit that destroys respect, so common that people think it's normal, is gossip, talking behind people's backs, discussing other people's private lives as if it's harmless entertainment. You tell yourself, I'm just sharing. I don't mean any harm. We're only having fun. Sorry. But that's one of the weakest excuses people use. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Anyone who talks badly about others to you will eventually talk badly about you too. The moment you join that game, even if you're not the one starting it, you send a powerful message. I can't be trusted. I don't keep things private. I feed on other people's business. People may laugh with you in the moment. They may nod and join the conversation. But deep down, a thought appears. If this is what they say about others, what do they say about me when I'm not here? The original story gives a simple example. Back in college, most conversations revolved around other people. Who was dating whom? Who failed at something? Who embarrassed themselves? One quiet girl, Sarah, developed feelings for a guy. Somehow, that private information spread through the group. Within days, it became a joke. People laughed. People talked. People entertained themselves. And Sarah slowly disappeared. She became quieter, more distant. Eventually, she pulled away from the group entirely. The joke ended. But the damage remained. Not only for Sarah, everyone else learned something too. The moment a weakness is exposed, the crowd turns on it. That's why the Stoics strongly rejected gossip. Epictetus taught that if something doesn't concern you, don't repeat it. Better yet, don't even listen to it, because gossip harms two people at the same time, the person being talked about and the person doing the talking. A mature person doesn't use someone else's private life as entertainment. A mature person talks about ideas, solutions, growth, things that make people better. If you want respect, start with one simple decision. Don't pass along information that serves no constructive purpose. When people begin gossiping, change the subject, stay silent, or leave the conversation. At first, you'll feel left out. You'll no longer be part of the drama, but you'll gain something far more valuable: credibility. And credibility is a form of wealth that money can't buy. Habit #2 Interrupting people. The second habit that quietly destroys respect is interrupting people. Many people do it because they're excited. Some do it because they're nervous. Others do it because they're afraid they'll forget their point. And some do it because they want to prove how smart they are. But the result is always the same. You send one message loud and clear: what I have to say is more important than what you're saying. It sounds small, but repeat it often enough, and people start to dislike being around you. Not because you're wrong, not because you're a bad person, but because you make them feel unheard. You turn every conversation into a stage where you're fighting for the microphone. Interrupting also makes you appear impatient, impulsive, and lacking self-control. And worst of all, it reveals that you don't really know how to listen. There's a powerful story in the script. When the narrator first started working, they were full of ideas and eager to contribute. In meetings, they constantly jumped in before others finished speaking. One day, their manager pulled them aside and said something simple but painful: "You're always ready to speak, but rarely ready to listen." That sentence hit like lightning, because it exposed the truth. They weren't listening. They were simply waiting for their turn to talk. And that has a name: ego disguised as enthusiasm. Stoicism sees listening as a strength. Epictetus reminded us that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more. Speak less. Listening isn't weakness. It isn't submission. It's discipline. It's self-control. It's proof that your emotions and ego are not running your life. People with real inner strength don't need to interrupt in order to exist. So how do you fix it? The script calls it stoic listening. The next time you feel the urge to jump in, pause and ask yourself, do I really need to say this right now, or can I wait until they're finished? If you're afraid you'll forget your idea, write it down. Take a quick note. Then let the other person finish. Wait for the pause, and then respond calmly and briefly. Something interesting starts to happen. People begin to respect you more, not because you talk more, but because you listen better. They feel your presence. They feel that you're actually paying attention. You're not just hearing words. You're hearing the person behind the words. If you want to earn respect, start with this simple habit. Let people finish their sentences. It's a small change, but it transforms you into someone worth listening to. San. Habit #3. Excessive complaining. The third habit destroys respect in a different way. It exhausts everyone around you. It's excessive complaining. Everyone complains sometimes. Traffic, bad weather, a difficult boss, too much work. A little complaining can help release pressure, but when complaining becomes a habit, you become a walking dark cloud. Everywhere you go, you drain the energy of the people around you. People don't avoid you because you're a bad person. They avoid you because being around you feels exhausting. The script captures this perfectly. Constant complaining makes every environment heavier. You focus on what's wrong, what's unfair, what's broken, what's disappointing, but you never move toward action. You never look for solutions. And the more you repeat the role of the victim, the more power you hand over to your circumstances. You begin living with the mindset, life is doing this to me. And because you see yourself as powerless, life continues to feel that way. The author shares a personal example. There was a period when everything became a complaint. If it rained, there was a complaint. If it was hot, there was a complaint. If someone treated them badly, they replayed the story for days. Then one friend finally said, "Why is nothing ever good enough for you?" The first reaction was defensiveness, but the question stayed in their mind because it was true. Stoicism offers a simple but powerful principle: don't complain about reality. Either act on what you can control or accept what you can't. The rain won't stop because you're irritated. Traffic won't disappear because you sigh. Complaining doesn't change reality, but your attitude can change. And attitude is one of the biggest factors that determines whether people respect you or not. Here's a simple test. Do you spend more time talking about problems or solutions after a conversation with you? Do people feel energized or drained? Do you practice gratitude or criticism? The mind is like a radar. Whatever you train it to look for, it will find. Feed it negativity, and the world starts to look like a prison. Train it to seek solutions, and you'll begin seeing opportunities where you once saw obstacles. The next time you're about to complain, ask yourself one question: is this within my control? If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, accept it and move forward. Practice that question long enough, and something changes. You become lighter, calmer, more resilient, and without trying to impress anyone, people naturally begin to respect you more. Conclusion. In the end, respect doesn't disappear because people suddenly decide to dislike you. It disappears because you slowly wear it down through your habits. Today, we've uncovered 3 of the most damaging ones. Gossiping destroys credibility and makes you seem untrustworthy. Interrupting destroys respect and makes you appear unwilling to listen. Excessive complaining drains energy and turns you into an emotional burden. What do all 3 habits have in common? They make people less willing to give you opportunities. Opportunities at work. Opportunities to collaborate. Opportunities for friendship. Opportunities to be heard. And the most dangerous part is this: you can do these things every day and still wonder why people don't respect you. The good news: habits can be changed. Stoicism doesn't offer empty self-love slogans or comforting illusions. It demands discipline. Speak less. Listen more. Keep your word. Avoid unnecessary drama. Complain less. Focus on action. Marcus Aurelius once suggested that the best revenge is not to become like those who wronged you. I'd expand that idea a little further. The best way to earn respect is to stop behaving like the crowd. The crowd loves gossip. You choose constructive conversations. The crowd interrupts. You choose to listen. The crowd complains. You choose action or acceptance. And something subtle but powerful begins to happen. The way people respond to you changes. They start asking for your opinion. They trust your judgment. They feel comfortable working with you. They feel safe talking to you. Not because you're pretending, not because you're performing, but because you've changed at the root. When you respect yourself through your actions, other people naturally begin to respect you too. So now it's your turn. Which habit affects you the most? Gossiping, interrupting, or complaining? Choose just one. Don't try to fix everything at once. Pick the one causing the most damage and start working on it today. Because changing one habit completely is far more powerful than making 100 promises you'll never keep.